Booyah, and it's time for the Game Sports Show, the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show. We're here live inside ONN TV at Sioux Online Studios. I'm joined by Justin Heichel and Alex Parr. We got an action-packed show, as always, here with the Game Sports Show. So we're going to jump right into it, fellas, and we're going to jump into a big announcement that was made actually officially yesterday, but made it more official today on social media and website. ESPN is now joining the family here with the Game Sports Show. We have joined the major sports network and juggernaut ESPN. We're going to be getting aired through our radio airwaves with ESPN 1400 and Sovereign Communications starting in the coming weeks. But officially, ESPN has joined the family with the Game Sports Show. We're very excited about that indeed. Now, second thing I want to bring up is our contest giveaway. It's been a couple months since we've had our contest giveaway. I had to do some schedule and some conflicts there. So contest number one through Facebook. You gotta like the Game Sports Show on Facebook. You tag your friend in the post when we do have the post. And you also gotta like the page. As I mentioned, you get a chance to win Northern Superior gift card and a free pizza from Facebook. Now, contest number two is Instagram. Follow the Game Sports Show. Like and comment on the post. You have a chance to win a Northern Superior gift card and a free pizza and wings from Sports Center Bar and Grill. Now, you follow Facebook and Instagram at the Game Sports Show is the tag there. So make sure you keep an eye on those for your chance to win some great free prizes. Yummy prizes.
Yummy. Delicious.
Yeah. Delicious.
Free is the best.
Free is the best. Free 99, we like to call it. But we're going to jump right into the show. Home run derby discussion.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, if you're a Blue Jay fan, you're getting absolutely pumped right now. You had a 19-year-old kid, I'm going to say, right now, who isn't built like a kid by any means, but he was clobbering balls out of Progressive Field in Cleveland. That was Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 91 home runs in total. Longest one was 488 feet. He was 114 miles per hour exit velocity on one of them. He had a great showdown with Jock Peterson in the second round there. And going into the finals against Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso did walk away with the home run derby crown. But Vlad was obviously a little bit tired after he hit 91 out of the 300 and some home runs in the turn.
Something closer to like 319. But that Jock Pedersen duel, oh my goodness. So
that was the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, Vlad ties his record that he just set in the first round. Pedersen ties that. Then they tie again in the second round. Then they both only hit one home run after three swings. And then they get another final three swings where Vlad did it with just one. And I was shaking in my seat for a little bit. Yeah. But Vlad stole the show. And if anybody thinks otherwise, they're wrong. They're just
definitely wrong. And Vlad just showed what he's going to do with that baseball as he continues to get older.
Wow, that was probably the spectacle of All-Star Week for me. I mean, that was unbelievable. And just the second thing there's nothing better than watching those balls just fly out into a crowd full of kids.
Yes,
like it's just chaos. It's like watching Timbits hockey. They're all scrambling for it.
And that's where with Vlad, I believe that people are going to be upset because of the amount of home runs that he hit. And he loses, but that's the format, and that's the way it goes. And this was arguably the best home run derby that I have seen. And NHL should be taking note, and other All-Star games should be taking note, because the home run derby in the MLB All-Star game is probably the most exciting All-Star game in sports.
Give the players something to play for, and it'll be more exciting for them. It'll be more exciting for the fans at home. I know there's a little bit of incentive in the NHL, but not like the MLB. The MLB, you're actually going to play for something. So, and it just, when you saw Vladimir go up there and he needed to hit that home run to tie it, or he needed to, try to separate himself from the pack, he looked like he wanted it more than anything else. So that's exactly what I want to see from the players across the leagues, all of those sports.
It was so thrilling to watch. Tonight is the All-Star game itself, where the winner gets that home field advantage in the World Series, which is amazing. Moving on from baseball, though, fellas, since we are in time constraints, we're going to move on to the hockey side. Today we had some news. Colorado Avalanche coach Bednar extended today. Alex Nylander was traded from the Buffalo Sabres to Chicago Blackhawks. But the big pressing news that we're going to jump into is the good RFAs that remain. Mitch Marner is still unsigned. Rantanen, Tkachuk, just to name a few. And we're going to stick to Mitch Marner for just a couple minutes here. Of course, especially covering the Toronto area in sports, he is still unsigned. Now, 9.5 in space, is what the Toronto Maple Leafs have. We've talked about this on radio and to a full extent, but just a quick reaction from you guys with Mitch Marner still unsigned.
Well, I mean, that's my nerves still, and especially seeing the video there yesterday. He was doing the 360 out on the wakeboard. And I don't want to see him get hurt midsummer and not have the contract signed, or get hurt and sign a big contract.
Yeah.
It's nerve-wracking, the Marner situation. I'd like it to be over with. I don't want to see it drag on like Nylander did last year, that's for sure.
Offer sheets.
I'm sleeping on the Marner thing now. Is he signed? No? Okay, back to bed for me. How long can the media draw this out for? I don't know. Yes, it's tough, and the Leafs will have a hard time signing him. Can they do it? Yes. Is it impossible? No. That's about all anybody knows, from insider, outsider, Marner's neighbor knows. That's all we're going to know until that decision's made.
I have said it, and I said it before, I know it's not great for Mitch Marner's future, but it seems that a bridge contract may be in the helm, and if not, remains to be seen, especially if you're a Toronto fan. Colorado fans are waiting as well. Calgary fans. There's a lot of great talent that is available. And if someone wants to throw a high offer sheet to Mitch Marner and the Leafs do not match for some reason, and the Leafs have 4 first-round picks, if I was Colorado and Calgary, I'd be scared, because I know exactly where they would be tending to try to make a trade or potentially trying to sign one of these guys. Just an example, obviously, with Mitch Marner. So remain unsigned. Listeners, when do you think he is going to be getting signed? I think it's going to happen not until the end of August.
Wow.
I'm going to go that far by the way it seems. Players that filed for arbitration, well over 40 players. Jordan Binnington, Joel Armia, Sam Bennett, just to name a few. Some good talent there. Jordan Binnington especially. Youngest goalie ever to 16 wins and to win a Stanley Cup. And I'm sure he'll get some good arbitration from the St. Louis Blues. Greg Johnson today, unfortunately, we learned that he passed away as well, former captain of the Nashville Predators. Now, that's going to be our hockey discussion. We'll talk about it more this week on a North Superior edition. Alex, Justin, Dave here. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we got Colin Miller coming on here on the Game Sports Show. So you don't want to miss that. Don't go anywhere. We're continuing the show here today with one of my friends and someone who's no stranger to the Game Sports Show, the one and only Colin Miller, Sioux native. Colin, how you doing, pal?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Colin, and thanks for taking the time to come on by, my friend. And, you know, it's been a pretty busy off season for yourself. I know you're in the middle of doing some renovations, and obviously it's no secret. Obviously, you've been traded to the Buffalo Sabres from the Las Vegas Golden Knights. So we're going to talk about that and what you expect with the Buffalo Sabres. But all in all, before we jump into that, how's your summer going so far? Have you been able to catch any breaths? Have you been able to get some relaxation time at all?
Yeah, of course. The weather's there's been a lot better here the last couple weeks, so it's been definitely more enjoyable, up here just outside the zoo. But yeah, it's been good. Got some things going on at the house here, taking care of this summer. And definitely a lot longer summer this year than last year with having such a quick turnaround last year. So nice to actually get back and have a full summer training before it picks up again.
Absolutely. And it was a very eventful first round, must we say, with the San Jose Sharks with you guys. And, we won't jump in too much with that because, that's kind of older news in terms of the NHL playoffs, as, Stanley Cup champions have been crowned with the St. Louis Blues. But, you spent good 2 full seasons with the Las Vegas Golden Knights. And, you know what? Your experiences, you've moved now, you've been traded to the Buffalo Sabres, and obviously Buffalo Sabres are very confident in what you can bring to the team. They give up a very good value for yourself. But in terms of Vegas and moving on and that experience that you had in the Stanley Cup Finals, and as you just mentioned, you're having a little bit of a longer summer because last year being in the Stanley Cup Final against the Washington Capitals. When you found out you got traded, everyone loves knowing this answer. Where were you when you found out you got traded, first off? Secondly, what was your reaction?
Yeah, I was just at home actually. I had a buddy get married. I guess that would have been 2 weekends ago now, and we were just going to go in and kind of catch up the night before he was getting married, and to tell the guys I was going to be a little bit late. I got a call from about 5 o'clock from my old GM there, and just kind of explain the news. And yeah, I think it was a little bit tough. Definitely obviously to leave an organization that we had such good success with. Signing me to a longer term contract. Longest that I've had yet. So thought definitely I'd be there. For the remainder of that one. But that's how the sports world works. I think a lot of it had to do with the cap, or that's kind of what they illustrated to me. So that was a little bit frustrating, but looking at the other side of it, Buffalo was great. I think every city that I've gone to, I found stuff that I love about it, and every team, you have new experiences and meet new guys and create kind of those good friendships. So everything was really positive from them on their end, and looking forward to getting down there and meeting everyone.
Now with Vegas, obviously, we're taking off the host hat here for a minute, put on my fan hat. When you hear rumors around social media with teams, if they're potentially going to move guys, I was obviously hoping you were going to be moved to Toronto, especially for our Toronto coverage here on the show. That would have been absolutely amazing to have a Sault Ste. Marie native, Morrisouc connection in Toronto. However, you're not too far from Toronto. You are in Buffalo, a big rivalry between the Leafs and the Sabres. But, going to Buffalo, you're going to a situation that is on the rise. You guys just signed Marcus Johansson, who played with the Boston Bruins at the tail end of the season, who obviously made the Stanley Cup final against St. Louis Blues. You got Rasmus Dahlin, you got Rasmus Ristolainen, you got Jack Eichel. You have a good nucleus of guys there in Buffalo, and, for sure, being out of Vegas and such how high everything was that first year, and also going into this year, and how exciting you guys were to watch the additions you made with Pacioretty and Mark Stone, and now moving to Buffalo. You're still going to a very exciting team, and arguably one of the toughest divisions in hockey with the Boston Bruins, with the Tampa Bay Lightning, the best team in the National Hockey League this year, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Florida Panthers, who are very much improved as well, Montreal, who lived up to expectations. But playing with the guys like the Rasmus guys, with Ristolainen and Dahlin and the guys, you must be pretty excited with the nucleus of guys they have there in Buffalo.
Yeah, it should be fun. I think, like you said, they made some nice moves. Picked up Jimmy Vesey from New York as well, which is a really young player going into as much opportunity as he would have liked in New York. So yeah, it'll be fun. I think going into my first year in Vegas, obviously we had no clue what to expect, and they're I think further along than obviously we were at the beginning of that year, and we had a great year. So you really never know. I mean, it'll be interesting. Like you said, a lot of great teams out of it, but it's always fun, to kind of to go somewhere else and be part of something that's new. This is a huge thing for them is making the playoffs, and that's goal number one for them, and then you move on from there. So probably a little bit different mindset, for me going into the season now from maybe contending for one with Vegas, but still something that is very fun to move forward and to be a part of. So I'm happy, very happy that they're putting this kind of faith behind me, and I think that they're happy to have me. So it's always a good feeling as a player.
They definitely, made a good trade, and definitely worth the value that you have. A second and a fifth, it's definitely worth, as we shared on our Game Sports Show page right prior to the deadline. Now, one of the analysts here on the show, Dane Hantro, who's a big Ralph Kruger fan. Ralph is a new coach going into Buffalo, and he was a former Edmonton Oilers coach. Have you been in contact with Ralph or anyone in particular, the management, what they said where you'll be playing, or heck, have you chosen your jersey number yet, or have you had any kind of communication with that yet after the trade?
Yeah, I've spoken with Ralph, spoke with a couple of people in the organization there, and he seems great. I had a great conversation with him there, and he just kind of explained his position. He explained he's happy to have me and all that stuff. So it was great. I mean, I really don't know him very well obviously yet, but everything I've heard is fantastic, and he has such a great resume in hockey that it's hard not to respect somebody like that, and even look forward to learning from him. So it should be great. I mean, I spoke with them, a couple other guys in the team, and it's all been good so far. So yeah, looking forward.
Definitely. Now, Dave McKeag alongside here with Colin Miller. A couple more things before we let you go. Now, going to Buffalo, you're in a position where I think, obviously, I see you fitting definitely in the top four in those defensive pairings. You're getting a lot of good special team times. So being in Buffalo, and as I know you grew up here in Canada, you grew up watching the Maple Leafs, the Montreal Canadiens, and the Ottawa Senators, the Edmonton Oilers, all these Canadian teams that are around. But obviously you get to play the Toronto Maple Leafs more and the Montreal Canadiens and those guys more. Are you excited to be playing against teams that you basically watched watched growing up?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm definitely excited to be a lot closer to home. I think those trips home for Christmas were getting pretty tough in Vegas. That's always something you want to get home for is Christmas. It never feels the same if you're not home with friends and family. But it'll be great. I'll definitely have some more people down there, and like you said, Toronto and those teams were teams that I always grew up watching. So they're good. I think going from playing in the Eastern Conference, with Boston, and then going to the Western Conference, they're definitely a little bit different conferences, but I mean hockey's still hockey. But it's fun, to see different guys that you don't play against, a little bit more often now. So I think it'll be a very competitive division.
Definitely be very exciting to watch. I know I'm down in the Toronto area a lot, covering a lot of the Maple Leafs coverage, so I'll be looking forward to watch Buffalo and Toronto with you playing. And, one thing that I want to get to on the hockey side before we get to something locally that I want to bring up to you before we let you go. Going through the motions of getting traded, like obviously you've been through the expansion draft where you got drafted from Boston and you went to Vegas, and you've been originally drafted by LA, but the most of the tenure was with Vegas, where you had your big substantial playing time thus far in the National Hockey League with Vegas. What is the emotion that you felt? Obviously, you're going to miss the presence there and the guys there in Vegas, but what does one player feel like after he does get moved? What was going through your mind, per se?
Well, I mean, with the GM and stuff like that, I think, you respect the decision that they have to make, but, you're not always going to like it. I think, like you said there's a lot of, you invest a lot of time in a team, and you invest a lot of, kind of work, all pulling for the same goal. So, when you're, kind of so focused on that goal for a long time, I think, now it changes, obviously, going to Buffalo, but with that being said, I mean, you're playing hockey in the best league in the world, and I think that's nothing that you should ever take for granted. There's a whole other organization with Buffalo that I'm so excited to be a part of, and so excited to help. So the goals change, and personnel changes that you're playing with, but I think the way that you play the game and the way that you kind of focus and prepare should. So that's just what I'm trying to do.
Definitely, and I think it's a good fit for you in Buffalo. And I know Leaf fans being rivals of Buffalo, I know maybe a little cheering going the other side, but you know what? You're going to be fit in perfectly there in Buffalo, and I think all is good. I think this will be a good fit for you going forward. Now, locally, I want to give a little publicity. Now, to my understanding, I was talking to Brett Finley, who we're planning to have on the show, along with Dom DeLuca. His hockey camp starts this week and next week. Are you taking part of that, or is any kind of publicity you can give towards that?
Yeah, I've helped out. I've helped out for the last, I don't know how many now, 3 or how many summers, but Dom's coach of mine for Bantam, along with Brett Finley, and he's a great guy. I mean, been in hockey a long time in Sioux, and runs camps for these kids. So I'll be there at the roads Tuesday, Thursday for the next couple of weeks. So I'm looking forward to it. It's always fun to get out there and see the local town.
Definitely. Now, it's good to obviously give back to the community, and you're doing a big part in that. Now, Colin, I know we follow a bit more time constraints here, so I'm going to let you go. I want to say thank you for coming on by once again, and we'll definitely be in touch throughout the summer, you and I, but definitely throughout the hockey season, just for some updates and see how things are going in Buffalo.
Okay, thanks, Gary.
This is the Game Sports Show. Dave McKeag. That was Colin Miller. So native Colin Miller getting traded to the Buffalo Sabres. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we've got more sports talk here on the Game Sports Show. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Game Sports Show. Dave McKeag, Justin Heichel, Alex Parr here in ONN Sioux Online Studios. I want to thank you to Colin Miller for taking the time to come on by. Hopefully you enjoyed that interview. Definitely, he was traded to the Buffalo Sabres. He gave his reaction there. He is looking forward to the opportunity there with Buffalo. But we're moving on from the hockey side and transitioning into basketball. And we learned some sad news last weekend. And that is, especially if you're a Raptors fan, Kawhi Leonard has left the Toronto Raptors to go to the Los Angeles Clippers on a 4-year, $142 million contract, signing the max that he could with the LA Clippers. And playoff MVP, load management guy here in Toronto. They definitely watched out for him, but he has moved on from Toronto. He's taken his talents to LA. And with him going there, Paul George now joins him as well as the Clippers, as Alex would say, in a franchise crippling trade per se. And a lot of people were wondering why Masai didn't make that trade with Oklahoma City about Westbrook and Paul George going to the Raptors. There was 4 unprotected first-round picks and 1 protected first-round pick going there. That is absolutely insane for a trade, but the Clippers made some splash. Kawhi leaves Toronto, goes to LA.
Yeah, and he goes to LA, as you quoted me from the podcast earlier. That is franchise crippling. I know the Raptors were basically offered the same thing, but as including Westbrook as well, and I think maybe a couple more pieces on the Raptors end just to make that deal as even as it could get.
Yeah.
But if that trade goes through, where are the Raptors in 3 years after maybe Westbrook walks? Where are they in 5 years when they still don't have a first-round pick that year? As much as it's sad that Kawhi is gone, I'm glad we didn't give up the complete entirety of the franchise's future just to keep him here.
If there's anybody who's mad at Kawhi, Justin, I've said it on numerous podcasts we've had since the signing that I respect Kawhi. And I'm happy what he's done for the city of Toronto. We should not be disrespecting him or be upset with him for not wanting to go home. He wanted to go home, just like Tavares did with the Maple Leafs. You have to respect that.
Well, you can't blame him. I mean, this is finally his opportunity to choose where he ends up. He's never had the choice. I mean, I believe he was drafted by the Pacers,
yes,
traded to the Spurs,
yeah,
and then traded to the Raptors. He never had an opportunity to kind of have his say where he was going to end up, and so now he finally gets to choose to go home, and I think that's fair.
It definitely
you can't hate the guy for that.
No, you can't. And he's going to where he told them, I'll come here if you get Paul George. And the Clippers made that sacrifice to sacrifice a lot of their future to bring him in. Now, after Kawhi fell, the dominoes fell. DeMarcus Cousins and Danny Green both go to the Lakers. DeMarcus Cousins on a $3.5 million. Danny Green approximately 15 per to go to the Lakers. The Lakers, they swung and missed on Kawhi, so their GM, LeBron James, as I would mention, is doing some recruiting, and he brought in some talent to try to solidify his bench.
He brought in some ring chasers. Am I allowed to say that? Because I'm going to say it. Boogie, definitely a ring chaser. There's nothing else I can say for it. If he wants respect from the league, he ain't getting it, and I don't think he cares. I think he cares how many fingers can have a nice little sparkle to him.
Yep.
Danny Green, I wouldn't really call it, I don't know, maybe it's a bias because he played for the Raptors last season when he won us a championship. I don't know if that's so much ring chasing as just a solid depth move, but $15 million for a guy coming off the bench, more than likely not. Ooh, let's see how the Lakers can juggle those contracts.
Now, quickly, before we jump into some in the pocket with some local football, Raptors fans quickly around here, do they need to be worried? I'll say no, I don't think so. They still got a team consisting of Siakam, Kyle Lowry, OG, and you have Van Fleet there, Serge Ibaka, you have Powell, and Masai Ujiri. We can trust in them, I think. Justin?
I think so too. I think the identity of the team going forward is probably going to be a little more defensive than what the fans were used to this year.
Especially with Stanley Johnson, Jefferson getting signed by the Raptors.
So I think it's going to definitely be a different team, but I still think the Raptors are going to compete in the East. I don't know that they're going to guarantee themselves a spot in the Eastern Final, but I think they're going to be a competitive playoff Eastern team.
If they miss the playoffs, that's a disappointment. Their team on paper is still very, very competitive. It's just missing that one superstar that really solidifies the lineup. But as Justin says, that lineup's fine. They're going to make the playoffs on cruise control. So Raptors fans, don't hit the panic button yet. Let's see what Masai is going to do. I'm sure he's still got some things to work on.
He's the best GM in basketball for a reason. I'm saying that up there that he is. That's why teams want him. Transitioning into local football within the pocket news, I want to discuss about the Sioux Steelers. They dropped the decision to Sarnia as they dropped to 3-4 on the season. 34-17 was the loss Saturday at Rocky DiPietro field. Now moving to the varsity SaberCats, as Dustin Grahn and Matt Primo and Jamie Antonello are panel members here on the Game Sports Show. Jamie was available for comment as the SaberCats, the varsity team, won 53-14 over the Brampton Bulldogs. Jamie commented and credited a strong performance from his team overall, saying defense was suffocating to say the least. The team allowed a total of negative 18 of yards and 10 sacks, 1 interception, and 1 forced fumble. The SaberCats improved to 5-1-1 after their win, and some notable players include Julian Joya on defense with 6 sacks, 9 tackles, including 2 tackles for loss. Offensive-wise, Jordan Robinson White went 12 for 22 for 294 yards and 4 touchdowns. And Nick Pagnotta ran for 93 yards on 11 carries, 1 touchdown, 42 yards receiving. Tyler Brecken, Travis Johnson, Carter Harrison put up touchdowns as well. Next up, Hamilton on July 14th at 2 o'clock. JV won 36-17 over Hamilton, now 6-0-1, heading into the final week as JV wraps up this weekend, July 13th at home against Sarnia. We'll get into some more in the Pocket News this Wednesday from Sports Center Bar and Grill. As our shows this week will be Wednesday at 9 o'clock at Sports Center, where Justin will be there, along with Jamie and the crew, and Sunday from Pier 55, North Pier Brewing Company, be myself, Alex, and Justin at this current time. To get into and remind you listeners, we have a contest giveaway. As mentioned on the top of the show, we have a Facebook and Instagram giveaway. Follow at the Game Sports Show on both pages. We'll have a post where you can follow the directions, but to give you a little summary, like the page, either on Facebook or Instagram, tag a friend. Now for Facebook, it's a Northern Superior gift card and a free pizza from Sports Center Bar and Grill. And for contest 2, it's also a Northern Superior gift card and free pizza and wings from Sports Center. So just follow, keep an eye on that. Some great stuff there. Justin, Alex, great show as always.
Of course.
Thanks for being a part of it, fellas.
Yeah, it's good times.
And welcome ESPN once again to the family here on the Game Sports Show. So you've listened to the Twin Sault's only local, regional, national sports show. Dave McKay, Justin Heichel, Alex Parr, signing off here from ONN TV studios and Sioux Online. Make sure to catch us Wednesday from Sports Center Bar and Grill, 9 p.m. You definitely don't want to miss that. Booyah.
Hey Mel, did you know in Queensgate, Australia, it's illegal to own a pet rabbit unless you can prove you're a magician?
Really? Did you know that if you're at the McMeekin Arena, you're only 9 minutes and 54 seconds away from Maitland Ford Lincoln?
It's closer than you think.